Russian folk tale. Porridge from an axe. The old soldier was on leave. I'm tired on the way. I'm hungry. I reached the village, knocked on the last hut, let the road person rest. An old woman opened the door. Come in, soldier. Don't you have something to eat, mistress? The old woman has plenty of everything, but she was stingy to feed the soldier, pretended to be an orphan. Oh, good man, I haven't eaten anything today myself. There's nothing. Well, no, the soldier says. Then he noticed an axe under the bench. If there is nothing else, you can cook porridge from an axe. The hostess threw up her hands. How to cook porridge from an axe? Here's how. Give me the cauldron. The old woman brought the cauldron. The soldier washed the axe, lowered it into the cauldron, poured water, and put it on the fire. The old woman looks at the soldier, does not take her eyes off. The soldier took out a spoon, stirring the brew. I tried it. Well, how? The old woman asks. It will be ready soon. The soldier replies. It's just a pity that there is nothing to salt with. I have some salt. Salt it. The soldier salted. Tried again. Good. If only here and a handful of cereals. The old woman fussed. Brought a bag of cereals from somewhere. Take it. Fill it up as needed. Fill the brew with grits. Boiled, stirred, tasted. The old woman looks at the soldier with all her eyes. She can't tear herself away. And the porridge is good. The soldier licked his lips, as if here and a little butter. It would be absolutely delicious. The old woman also had butter, spiced porridge. Well, old woman, now give me bread and take a spoon. Let's eat porridge. I didn't think you could cook such a good porridge out of an axe. The old woman marvels. We ate porridge together. The old woman asks a serviceman, when are we going to eat an axe? Yes, see, he's not boiled. The soldier replied, I'll finish it somewhere on the road and have breakfast. He immediately hid the axe in his satchel, said goodbye to the landlady and went to another village. That's how the soldier ate porridge and took the axe away. Russian folk tale. The Frog Princess. In a certain kingdom, in a certain state, there lived a king, and he had 3 sons. The youngest was named Ivan Tsarevich. One day the king called his sons and said to them, My dear children, you are all of an age now. It's time for you to think about brides. For whom, father, should we woo? And you take an arrow each, pull your tight bows and shoot arrows in different directions. Where the arrow falls, there and woo. The brothers went out into their father's wide yard, pulled their tight bows and fired. The elder brother shot an arrow. An arrow fell on the boyar's yard, and the boyar's daughter picked it up. The middle brother shot an arrow. The arrow flew to the rich merchant. In the yard, the merchant's daughter raised her. Prince Ivan shot an arrow. His arrow flew straight into the swampy swamp, and the frog picked it up. The frog princesses, soon as the older brothers went to look for their arrows, they immediately found them, one in the boy's harem, the other in the merchant's yard. And Prince Ivan could not find his arrow for a long time. For 2 days he walked through forests and mountains, and on the 3rd day he entered a swampy swamp. He looks, a frog croaker is sitting there, holding his arrow. Prince Ivan wanted to run away and give up his find, but the frog says, Quack, Prince Ivan, come to me, take your arrow, and marry me. Prince Ivan was saddened and answers, How am I going to marry you? People will laugh at me. Take it, Prince Ivan. You won't regret it. I thought, Prince Ivan thought, took a frog, wrapped it in a handkerchief and brought it to his kingdom state. The older brothers came to their father. They tell where whose arrow hit. Prince Ivan also told me. The brothers began to laugh at him, and the father says, take the croaker. There's nothing you can do. Here 3 weddings were played. The princes got married. The eldest Tsarevich is on a hawthorn. The middle one is on a merchant's daughter. And Ivan Tsarevich is on a frog croaker. The day after the wedding, the king called his sons and said, well, my dear sons, now all 3 of you are married. I want to know if your wives know how to bake bread. Let them bake me a loaf of bread by morning. The princes bowed to their father and went. Prince Ivan returned to his chambers unhappy, hung his head below the shoulders of the riot. Quack, Ivan Tsarevich, says the frog, why are you so sad? Or did you hear an flattering word from your father? How can I not be sad? Prince Ivan answers, my father ordered you to bake a loaf of bread yourself in the morning. Don't grieve, Prince Ivan. Go to bed better to rest. The morning of the evening is more complicated. The little frog put the Tsarevich to bed, and she threw off her frog skin and turned into a red maiden Vasilisa the Wise, such a beauty that neither in a fairy tale to say, nor a pen to describe. She took frequent sieves, small sieves, sifted wheat flour, kneaded white dough, baked a loaf, loose and soft, decorated the loaf with various intricate patterns on the sides, cities with palaces, gardens and towers, flying birds on top, prowling animals on the bottom. In the morning, the croaker wakes up Ivan Tsarevich. It's time. Prince Ivan, get up, bring the loaf. She put the loaf on a golden platter, escorted Ivan Tsarevich to his father. The older brothers also came, brought their loaves. Only they had nothing to look at. The boyar's daughter's bread was burnt. The merchant's bread was raw and lopsided. The Tsar first took the loaf from the elder Tsarevich, looked at it and ordered it to be taken to the yard dogs. I took it from the middle one, looked at it and said, you will eat such a loaf only from great need. It was the turn of Ivan Tsarevich. The king accepted a loaf from him and said, this bread is only eaten on big holidays, and immediately gave his sons a new order. I want to know how your wives can do needlework. Take silk, gold and silver, and let them weave me on the carpet with their own hands overnight. The elder princes returned to their wives, handed them the royal order. Wives began to call mammies, nannies, and red girls to help them weave carpets. Immediately mammies, nannies, and red girls gathered and began to weave carpets and embroider, some with silver, some with gold, some with silk. And Prince Ivan returned home unhappy, hung his head below the shoulders of the riot. Quack, Ivan Tsarevich, says the frog, why are you so sad? Or did he hear an unkind word from his father? How can I not twist? Prince Ivan answers, the priest ordered to weave a patterned carpet for him in one night. Don't grieve, Prince Ivan. Go to bed better to rest. The morning of the evening is more complicated. The little frog put the Tsarevich to bed, and she threw off her frog skin and turned into a red maiden Vasilisa the Wise, such a beauty that neither in a fairy tale to say, nor a pen to describe. She took frequent sieves, small sieves, sifted wheat flour, kneaded white dough, baked a loaf, loose and soft, decorated the loaf with various intricate patterns on the sides, cities with palaces, gardens and towers, flying birds on top, prowling animals on the bottom. In the morning, the croaker wakes up Ivan Tsarevich. It's time. Prince Ivan, get up, bring the loaf. She put the loaf on a golden platter, escorted Ivan Tsarevich to his father. The older brothers also came, brought their loaves. Only they had nothing to look at. The boyar's daughter's bread was burnt. The merchant's bread was raw and lopsided. The Tsar first took the loaf from the elder Tsarevich, looked at it and ordered it to be taken to the yard dogs. I took it from the middle one, looked at it and said, "You will eat such a loaf only from great need." It was the turn of Ivan Tsarevich. The king accepted a loaf from him and said, "This bread is only eaten on big holidays," and immediately gave his sons a new order. "I want to know how your wives can do needlework. Take silk, gold, and silver, and let them weave me on the carpet with their own hands overnight." The elder princes returned to their wives, handed them the royal order. Wives began to call mammies, nannies, and red girls to help them weave carpets. Immediately mammies, nannies, and red girls gathered and began to weave carpets and embroider, some with silver, some with gold, some with silk. And Prince Ivan returned home unhappy, hung his head below the shoulders of the riot. "Quack, quack, Ivan Tsarevich," says the frog. "Why are you so sad? Or did he hear an unkind word from his father?" "How can I not twist?" Prince Ivan answers. "The priest ordered to weave a patterned carpet for him in one night. Don't grieve, Prince Ivan. Go to bed better to rest. The morning of the evening is more complicated." The frog put him to bed, and she threw off her frog skin, turned into a red girl, Vasilisa the Wise, and began to weave a carpet. Where the needle once, the flower blooms. Where it another time, tricky patterns go. Where the third, the birds fly. The sun hasn't risen yet, and the carpet is already ready. So all three brothers came to the king. Each brought his own carpet. The Tsar first took the carpet from the elder Tsarevich, looked at it and said, "This carpet is only to cover horses from the rain." I took it from the average, looked at it and said, "Only at the gate to lay it." He took it from Ivan Tsarevich, looked at it and said, "And here is this carpet in my room on big holidays to spread." And immediately the Tsar gave a new order that all three Tsareviches should come to him for a feast with their wives. The Tsar wants to see which of them dances better. The princes went to their wives. "Prince Ivan is coming. He is sad. He thinks, how will I take my little frog to the royal feast?" He came home unhappy. Croaker asks him, "What is it again?" Ivan Tsarevich, sad, hung his head below the shoulders of a riot. "What are you sad about?" "How can I not be sad?" says Prince Ivan. "My father ordered me to bring you to his feast tomorrow. Do not grieve, Prince Ivan. Go to bed and sleep. The morning of the evening is more complicated." The next day, when it was time to go to the feast, the croaker said to the prince, "Well, Prince Ivan, go alone to the royal feast, and I will follow you. As soon as you hear a knock and thunder, don't be scared. Say it's obviously my frog in a box going." Prince Ivan went to the Tsar for a feast alone. And the older brothers came to the palace with their wives, dressed up and dressed. They stand and laugh at Ivan Tsarevich. Why did you come without your wife, brother? If only he had brought her in a handkerchief, he would have let us all listen to her croak. Suddenly there was a banging and thunder. The whole palace shook and staggered. All the guests were alarmed, jumped up from their seats, and Prince Ivan says, "Don't be afraid, dear guests. This, apparently, is my frog in his box going." Everyone ran up to the windows and saw runners were running, messengers were galloping, and a gilded carriage was following them, harnessed by 3 bay horses. The carriage drove up to the porch, and Vasilisa the Wise got out of it. She herself is shining like a clear sun. Everyone is amazed at her, admiring her. They can't utter a word out of surprise. Vasilisa the Wise took Ivan Tsarevich by the hands and led him to oak tables, patterned tablecloths. The guests began to eat, drink, and have fun. Vasilisa the Wise drinks from the cup. She doesn't finish it, pours the rest for her left sleeve. He eats a fried swan. He throws bones by the right sleeve. The wives of the elder princes saw this, and they're what they don't finish, they pour into the sleeve. What they don't finish, they put in another. And for what? Why, they themselves do not know. As the guests got up from the table, music started playing, dancing began. Vasilisa the Wise went to dance with Ivan Tsarevich. She waved her left sleeve, the lake became. Waved her right, white swans swam across the lake. The Tsar and all the guests were amazed, and as soon as she stopped dancing, everything disappeared, both the lake and the swans. The wives of the elder princes went to dance. As they waved their left sleeves, they splattered all the guests as they waved their right ones. They showered them with bones. They almost knocked out the Tsar's eye with a bone. The Tsar became angry and ordered them to be driven out of the upper room. When the feast was at an end, Prince Ivan seized the moment and ran home. I found a frog skin and burned it on fire. Vasilisa the Wise came home. "Missed, there is no frog skin." She rushed to look for her. I searched, I didn't find it, and says to Ivan Tsarevich, "Prince Ivan, what have you done? If you had waited 3 more days, I would have been yours forever. And now goodbye. Look for me far away from the lands, far away from the seas, in the 30th kingdom, in the sunflower state, at Koshai the Immortal. How you wear out 3 pairs of iron boots. How you gnaw 3 iron loaves, only then will you find me," she said, turned into a white swan, and flew out the window. Prince Ivan was sunning himself. He equipped himself, took a bow and arrows, put on iron boots, put 3 iron loaves in a shoulder bag, and went to look for his wife, Vasilisa the Wise. Whether he walked for a long time, whether it was short, whether it was close, far away, soon the fairy tale effects. But not soon the thing is done. He wore out 2 pairs of iron boots, gnawed 2 iron loaves, and began to work on the 3rd. And then he met an old man. "Hello, Grandpa," says Prince Ivan. "Hello, good fellow. What are you looking for? Where are you going?" Prince Ivan told the old man his grief. Prince Ivan," says the old man, "why did you burn the frog skin? You didn't put it on. You didn't have to take it off. Vasilisa the Wise is more cunning than her father. Koshai the Immortal was born. He was angry with her for that and ordered her to be a croaker for 3 years. Well, there's nothing to do. Words can't fix the troubles. Here's a ball for you where it rolls. You go there. Prince Ivan thanked the old man and went to get a ball. The ball rolls along high mountains, rolls through dark forests, rolls through green meadows, rolls through swampy swamps, rolls through remote places. And Ivan Tsarevich goes on and on after him. He will not stop to rest for an hour. He walked, wiped out the third pair of iron boots, gnawed the third iron bread, and came to a dense forest. A bear comes across him. Let me kill the bear. Prince Ivan thinks, after all, I don't have any food anymore. He took aim, and the bear suddenly says to him in a human voice, "Don't kill me, Prince Ivan. Someday you'll need me." Prince Ivan did not touch the bear, regretted it, and went on. He goes by a clear field. Lo and behold, and a big drake flies over him. Prince Ivan pulled his bow, wanted to shoot a sharp arrow at the drake, and the drake speaks to him in a human way. "Don't kill me, Prince Ivan. There will be time. I will be useful to you." Prince Ivan the drake regretted. He did not touch him. He went on hungry. Suddenly a slanting hare runs towards him. "I'll kill this hare." The prince thinks, "I'm really hungry." He pulled his tight bow, began to aim, and the hare tells him in a human voice, "Don't ruin me, Prince Ivan. There will be time. I will be useful to you." And the prince pitied him and went on. He went out to the blue sea and saw on the shore, on the yellow sand, "There is a pikefish." Says Prince Ivan, "Well, I'm going to eat this pike now. My urine is gone. I'm so hungry." "Ah, Prince Ivan," said the pike, "have pity on me. Don't eat me. Better throw me into the blue sea." Prince Ivan took pity on the pike, threw it into the sea, and he went to the shore for his ball. Whether long or short, the ball rolled into the forest, to the hut. That hut stands on chicken legs, turns around itself. Says Prince Ivan, "Hut, hut, turn your back to the forest, to me in front." At his word, the hut turned its back to the forest, and its front to him. Prince Ivan entered the hut and saw Baba Yaga. Bone Leg is lying on the stove. She saw the prince and said, "Why did you come to me, good fellow, willy-nilly?" "Ah, Baba Yaga, Bone Leg, you would have fed me before, watered me and evaporated in the bath. Then you would have asked." And that's true, Baba Yaga answers. She fed Prince Ivan, gave him a drink, evaporated in the bath. And the prince told her that he was looking for his wife, Vasilisa the Wise. I know, Baba Yaga says. She is now with the villain Koshai the Immortal. It will be difficult to get it. It will not be easy to get along with Koshai. You can't kill him with an arrow or a bullet. That's why he's not afraid of anyone. Yes, is there where his death is? His death is at the end of a needle. That needle is in an egg. That egg is in a duck. That duck is in a hare. That hare is in a forged casket. And that casket is on top of an old oak tree. And that oak grows in the dense forest. Baba Yaga told Ivan Tsarevich how to get to that oak tree. The prince thanked her and went. For a long time he made his way through the dense forests, in the swamps of the swamp elm, and finally came to the Koshiv oak. There is that oak tree. Its top rests against the clouds. It has spread its roots 100 versts in the ground. It has covered the red sun with branches. and at its very top there is a forged casket. Prince Ivan looks at the oak and does not know what to do, how to get the casket. He thinks, is there a bear somewhere? He would have helped me. I just thought. And the bear was right there. He came running and uprooted an oak tree. The casket fell from the top and broke into small pieces. A hare jumped out of the casket and took to his heels. Where is my hare? The prince thinks. He would certainly have caught up with this hare. I didn't have time to think. But the hare was right there. He caught up with another hare, grabbed it, and tore it in half. A duck flew out of that hare and rose high, high into the sky. Where is my drake? The prince thinks. And the drake flies after the duck. It pecks right in the head. The duck dropped an egg, and that egg fell into the blue sea. Prince Ivan was sunning himself, standing on the shore and saying, "Where is my pike? She would get me an egg from the bottom of the sea." Suddenly a pikefish swims to the shore and holds an egg in its teeth. "Take it, Prince Ivan." The prince was delighted, broke an egg, took out a needle and broke off the tip of it, and only broke off. The immortal Kasha died, crumbled to dust. Prince Ivan went to the Koshiv chambers. Vasilisa the Wise came out to him here and said, "Well, Ivan Tsarevich, you managed to find me. Now I will be yours for the whole century." Prince Ivan chose the best horse from the Koshiv stable, sat on it with Vasilisa the Wise, and returned to his kingdom state. And they began to live amicably, in love and harmony.